Hey everyone, welcome to another espresso. Hope you're all doing really well. Thank you for joining me and thank you for all of the comments and engagement. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, sign up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere else you want to find or listen or watch a podcast. Really appreciate it. Today, I wanted to speak about what your candidates are saying about your interview process. And you just need to scroll through LinkedIn to see all of the comments and the feedback about people moaning about long interview processes, moaning about no feedback, moaning about being ghosted, engagement, lack of engagement, very one-sided. I mean, all of these things has been, you can do the research yourself. People have done the research as well. I was reading in Harvard Business Review, and they analyzed something like 68 million public conversations. So look, really interesting stuff. I think the crux of it is that there seems to be a bit of a misalignment between what hiring managers think people want and what people are looking for and how things are structured, which is always funny because like everyone's people, and hiring managers were candidates too. Hiring managers are candidates. Candidates are hiring managers. All of that good stuff. So it's not one of those like they and us thing. We're all human. And the really funny thing is people forget. I've spoken to people. They're candidates, and they're on it like, where's the feedback and what's going on, and rightly so, right? You want to know what's going on. You want to be communicated with effectively. Then they get a job, and then the hiring, and it's really interesting how things flip. People go into this persona, right? Like you're hiring and you've got this job and you've got these skills you're looking for and you've got a budget and you don't want to go over, or it's like you just get into all of these moving parts. And then interviewing, it's a little bit like speed dating. You've got an hour and you're trying to make a decision to spend more time with this person than you might do with your partner or your parents or your best mates. And it's crazy, right? Half an hour, and people wanting short, quick interview processes. But these are huge, important life decisions. So I always find it really fascinating how all of this stuff works. So I think a lot of the time, people aren't speaking the same language. And when I talk to people about how they interview questions, structure of their interview, it's changing a bit, but it's very one-sided. People have a big list of things they want to find out. Great. And often they just dive straight in, question, forgetting that an interview is a very unnatural scenario. It's not something that one does every day. It's people want, if you're unemployed, you really want a job. Or if you're in work and you don't really you mind, you're fine. If it's a better opportunity, you'll move, but there needs to be a real pull, and they need to do all they can to secure you and convince you. So people forget to give people the space and time. And so for me, a big bit about interviewing up front is the interviewer should give the candidate space and time to ask questions. And I really like that right up front. Make people feel comfortable, treat them like humans, be kind, be generous with your time. And then you find out what people are really, really like. And I really like that. I'm going to read, there's a really interesting, I've said interesting so many times, but it's interesting. A survey done by PandoLogics, and their data showed, and I think this was the end of last year, that when employers added wages to job titles and descriptions, candidates apply to jobs as much as 12% more frequently than they apply for openings that do not display that information. And then when bonuses are added, so there's a potential for a bonus, or bonuses are up to a certain amount, employers saw a 40% increase in application rate, which is very cool, because you heard of this term, Great Resignation. There's loads of jobs, depending on the sector, of course, but overall, there's a lot of openings. And again, dive on LinkedIn, dive on different job boards. A lot of companies have really struggled to hire. They've seen a lot of people leave. And then, so despite there being more jobs, applications to jobs have gone down. And I think that's interesting. And so you do really have to do all you can as an employer to make sure you give yourself the best opportunity to get people to apply for your jobs, to then when you're in the interview process, make sure, again, you're doing all you can to give yourself the best chance. Because again, I mean, I spoke to a friend on the weekend, and she's been hiring. People have been leaving her team because companies have been giving like 20% pay increases, little bumps. You then have someone join the team. It come around to pay review time, and one of their current team members are like, "Hold on a sec, how come this person's earning more money than me? They've just come in." So it's a real crazy dynamic going on. And and I've posted about this before, recruiting is 80% timing, and this is just my own thoughts, not based on any actual facts. Recruiting is 80% timing, 10% skill, 10% fairy dust. So be the difference that makes a difference, and make sure you get all of these things right. And a few things for me that I would recommend you do is upfront, what's in it for the candidate. And this kind of goes back to even the job spec stuff, or if you're maybe advertising the salary range, and that's a whole different topic. And, New Yorker mandating it now, a few other states in the US, some countries, and in the UK where I am, not the case, whole different conversation. So whether you're saying the salary or not, but make sure you communicate what's in it for the candidate. Like what are they going to get out of it? And as much as salary and money and everything's talked about, I've spoken to, if you have a heart-to-heart with someone, they'll give away 10% of their salary if they're not happy, for more happiness. There's a bunch of things that come into it. So to make sure you think about and communicate what's in it for the candidate. What do really people want? They want a great culture. They want to work with great people. They want to be remunerated fairly. They want to learn. They want to be challenged. They want to be happy. These are the things that you can really communicate. And so many people forget to communicate that up front. Interview starts, and you could start with, what questions do you have for me? Or you can start with, let me give you a rundown. Let me tell you who we are, what's our story, what the opportunity is. It's your chance to tell the story, and it's really important. The next thing for me is make sure you're up to date and realistic with the market, with the recruitment market. It's fine like wanting a job filled quick, or wanting this type of skill set, or you want to pay a certain amount of money, and you're inflexible on there's all of these different things that go on. But make sure you stay up to date with shifts in the market trends, because it is changing constantly. It's like playing a game of poker and the blinds go up, and you're still used to the old blinds, and suddenly it's £2, not £1 or £3. You just got to take an interest in really what's going on. Because if you're doing your research, if you understand what people want, if you understand what the competition is doing, if you understand what people are feeling about location, about work-life balance, about work flexibility, about a more holistic view of work and life, and all of the things that people have been shouting about these past couple of years, or longer even, then you can design something that works for people. There is no one size fits all, and you can start to create an environment where these people can thrive, and you can make sure they do well in things. When you're in the interview process, next thing for me, and I hear this complaint all the time from people, is set clear expectations. Let's say the job interview process will take a long time because it's a board level role and they need to meet 9 people or 10 people, and the diaries are difficult, and it might take, might go 3-4 months, whatever it is. But I think if you communicate clearly with people and you set expectations up front about how long it's going to be, who's going to be involved, then everyone's on the same page, and there's going to be no surprises. And a lot of the time, these things fall down on miscommunication. People get, they disengage in the interview process. Money's not quite matched up. They haven't met the right people. They haven't really had the time to ask the questions they have wanted to find out the stuff that they need to, So make sure communication is crystal clear at all stages of the process. and communicate, quickly. There's no excuse now. There's like email, LinkedIn, SMS, phone. I mean, so ways to communicate now. So make sure you do it, because if people don't end up being successful and they've not enjoyed the process, they're going to be speaking badly about your company and the interview process in the market. And you hear it all the time. You want people to have an awesome experience, whether they've got the job or not. And it's super important. Final thing for me is resume, CV, absolutely important. But remember, you're interviewing and you're hiring a person, not what's on paper. So, be open to finding out about people, about what they've actually done, about their story. If they've happened to have had 3 jobs this past 2 years, why? Don't just disregard them as a job hopper. Really look in. You can find the most incredible talent in the most unconventional people. Don't just throw away a CV. Be open to speaking with people. If they're in the right kind of ballpark or the right space, be open to really exploring it, and you'll give yourself the best opportunity to improve your hiring process, to get people to talk well about your organization, which will mean hiring will be easier. You'll get more referrals. I mean, just crazy amount of benefits for making sure that the experience that people have in your hiring process is absolutely awesome. Cool. That's it for me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe in all the usual places, and speak to you all soon. Thank you.